Yo, this your boy, the Real McCoy, coming at you, man. Talking about the NFL, man, and I've been doing I did a video. My Dallas Cowboys, we had a tough year, bad year. We're not gonna make the playoffs, so I decided to go ahead and start to look at some of these prospects coming out of college, mainly the quarterback position, because with most of Cowboys Nation, we believe that, we all agree we need a viable backup quarterback. And hopefully that viable backup quarterback is also the quarterback of the future. Brandon Weeden, even though he did get a win now, and Brandon Weeden did say, he's with the Houston Texans, Brandon Weeden did say that it feels good that Jerry Jones is going to be watching the playoffs on his couch. So Brandon Weeden feels some kind of way, you know what I mean? But he wasn't a long-term answer. Most of us knew he wasn't anyway. Matt Castle is not in the long term. Kellen Moore is getting his shot. I don't know if he's a long term answer either. Haven't even really seen him enough to really say yes or no. So I want to go out and study some of these quarterbacks. Not just quarterbacks, other players as well. Other positions I felt like we needed. But as I'm watching these quarterbacks, man, you got Jared Goff out at Cal, Paxton Lynch at Memphis, Carson Wentz at North Dakota State, Cody Kessler out of USC, Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma, Connor Cook, Michigan State, Christian Hackenberg, Penn State, things like that. As I'm watching these guys, especially the quarterbacks in the spread offense, the first word that jumps out to me is development. I mean, these guys need work, and that's why I was like, man, does the NFL need some type of development league? Most sports, I don't really follow hockey, so I don't know. I know we all know the minor league baseball, the farm system. Show fans, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that I think it's 30 teams Major League Baseball. I think all 30 have a minor league affiliation. Single A, double A, triple A, independent, winter leagues, things like that. You go through the farm system, and they feel like your organization feel like you're ready, they call you up to the show. NBA's got the D League, even boxing, you got the Olympics, you got amateurs, things like that. I know for a while that the NFL had no NFL Europe. That was a place guys could go. I think that got disbanded. I think 2009, 10, 11, something like that. That ended recently a few years ago. Canadian Football League, the CFL. The measurements of the field aren't the same as the NFL arena, things like that. But these guys, I mean, they all need development, in my opinion. Especially the spread offense quarterbacks. It's not easy. Some say it's easy, but if you don't have a lot of experience doing a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop, turning your back to the defense, things like that, it sounds easy, but when we think of the grand scheme of things and the NFL, it's not that easy, man. Look at Marcus Mariota coming out of Oregon. I believe his last year at Oregon, I think he only had less than 10 snaps under center. Working on the footwork and the mechanics and things like that. When I watch Baker Mayfield, now a lot of these guys are Baker Mayfield's underclassman. He hasn't declared yet. He needs to go back to school when I watch him play. Baker Mayfield, good lower body strength, but his footwork is really inconsistent. Really, it's pretty bad. I love his competitive nature, competitive drive, things like that. I love his mobility. His ability to scramble, get outside the pocket, make plays that way, things like that. But when he sets to throw the ball, his legs, his base is so wide. So when he throws the ball, it's all arm, and it's not really coming through the lower half of his body. To plant that left leg and really drive the ball. And he's not the biggest guy in the world, so it seems like he's trying to compensate, and it's like he needs work. He needs work, man. Baker, I'm not saying that to pick on these guys. I'm just saying that's the reason why I think the NFL could maybe benefit from a development league. All of these guys, I watch Cody Kessler at USC. Not a big arm, but from anywhere from the line of scrimmage to 25, about 20 yards, he's very accurate. in the intermediate throws, you know what I mean, pinpoint accuracy, things like that, not a big arm. He's got happy feet in the pocket. And Cody Kessler, he's not the best at, you know, doing that hitch, you know what I mean, and climbing up in the pocket. A lot of these spread offensive quarterbacks, they're not used to doing that. They're used to being in the gun. You drop back, maybe take 2 or 3 steps, or just stand where you are and having that separation from the pocket. So they're not used to dropping back, stepping up, you know what I mean, manipulating the pocket, slide. Aaron Rodgers is great at it. Tom Brady, if you know what I mean, watch those guys, you know what I'm talking about. Trying to manipulate the pocket, dip the shoulder, slide, things like that. There's just not a lot of experience at doing that consistently. And then, you know, with getting under center, that's why last year a lot of, even though Jameis Winston coming out of Florida State, he threw a lot of interceptions his last year, but reason why he went number 1 overall over Marcus Mariota, because he got under center. He did pre-snap. He identified the mic, changed protection, looked at the safeties. A lot of times the safeties can dictate what the defense is going to be. You know what I mean? How far off are the corners and things like that. Play action. You know what I mean? Pre-snap, post-snap reads. You know what I mean? Audibles, hot routes. And in that spread offense, a lot of the times the play is called for you. You do that read option, you know what I mean? You read the defensive end. Now that linebacker that's there, the play side linebacker, he has to make a decision. Because, you know, the first job for a linebacker is play the run. So if he comes downhill, man, this is a staple in the spread offense. They all run this play. The read option, you read, when the linebacker comes up, they throw it to the tight end or the slot receiver up the seam. They all do it. You know what I mean? That's a design route. It's a one read type of play. You know, and now with the Jared Goff out of Cal, you know, he does go through, him and Paxton Lynch. They do have progressions that they go through and things like that. But I mean, because when you're in the gun and you just stand, you can see the defense and everything that's in front of you. You know what I mean? You see 2 high safeties, you see press man across the board, things like that. But if they change the coverage post snap, you can see it develop. When you get on the center, you quarterback, you come to the line of scrimmage. You know, you've got a 2-by-1 formation. You got 2 receivers on the left. You know, in a single receiver on the right with an ace backfield, and a tight end on the outside of the right tackle. And you know, and the defense is in their nickel package. And you look at the corners across the board; they're all press man coverage, 2 high safeties. You thinking, okay, it's cover 2 man under. You know what I mean? They're in their nickel package, so they got 2 linebackers on the field. 1 linebacker to cover the tight end, 1 linebacker to cover the running back. So you're thinking that, okay, you come to the line of scrimmage, you're thinking the play is play action. You get on the center, you're thinking cover 2 man under. But when you get the ball and you do play action, that's split 2 or 3 seconds, whatever, 2 seconds. When your back is turned to the defense, those 2 corners, they sprint back, and they're not playing man coverage at all. They're playing deep thirds. They're playing cover 3, and that's those two high safeties. One comes down, you know, and he plays the middle of the field and he reads the quarterback's eyes. You're thinking that, you know, what I'm looking for, my running back is going out to the flats to my left, so that's going to take that linebacker with him. You know, this is all pre-snap. So you're looking for that slot receiver to get across that DB for that slant in the middle of the field is wide open. Now that DB's got to make a tackle, you know. But when you do the play action and you turn your back, the corner sprint back, the safety comes down, and it's not man coverage 2 high safety. They're actually playing cover 3. This is what Legion of Boom and Seattle Seahawks. This is what they do all the time. Their defense is mainly based off the cover 3. When Cam Chancellor comes down, he roams and he reads the quarterback. You know what I mean? So if you don't have experience doing that, you see one thing pre-snap, you turn your back to do play action. So you think, okay, here he comes that slant. You're already predetermined. Then when you set and you throw, that safety comes down and he picks it off. That's why a lot of scouts. I mean, I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm not recreating the wheel. This is basic football, you know, and that's why scouts are looking for GMs and coaches, quarterbacks who've played under center, that play action. Because you got the pre-snap, post-snap, things like that. And if you're predetermined, you're so used to seeing the field, not turning your back. I mean, it's not like you're turning your back, you're just standing there, you're doing a play action. But for those split few seconds while your back is turned, the defense has changed. And if you're predetermined, you're so used to seeing the field the whole entire time, things change. If you're predetermined, that's when turnovers happen. You know, you're not used to stepping up and climbing in the pocket. You know what I mean? Manipulating the pocket, dipping your shoulder, where your feet. This is what I like about Jared Goff from Cal. His feet are usually set to where he's always ready to throw. You know, with Cody Kessler, his feet. A lot of his throws are arm, you know what I mean? His feet aren't always, he doesn't always rotate the hips and turn the shoulder and turn his feet and his shoulder toward the target. It's kind of arm sometimes. He doesn't always step up in the pocket. Paxton Lynch out of Memphis, when I studied him, he gets happy, not happy feet like he's nervous or scared to hit. It's that Memphis, they moved him around a lot. They did sprint rollouts. They moved the pocket, naked boots. He was constantly on the move. So because Paxton Lynch is 6'7", 245. So when it is time to stand tall in the pocket, his feet are moving. It's kind of funny when I watch that. Like, man, this guy's feet, they're just always, he's so used to moving, moving his feet. But excuse me, all these guys, man, they need work, man, in my opinion. And, you know, I know you had, I heard Jim Foster, a former head coach in the NFL. He's talked about a development league. He said he think it'll be good. He's willing to coach in the development league, things like that. Say these guys get drafted, have their pro day, not going against defense, you know what I mean, combine, and they just don't have that experience, you know. And we as people, we as fans, sometimes we get impatient. Guy has a not so good rookie year. He's a bust, you know what I mean. They want to get him out of there. And, you know, they draft another quarterback the next year and things like that. You know, and with Aaron Rodgers, even though it did work out, you know, if there was a development league, you know, Aaron Rodgers, he wouldn't have to sit behind Brett Favre for 4 years. He can be in the development league getting reps, getting experience. Because if you're a backup, you know, you're only getting maybe at practice, things like that, training camp, preseason, then you're sitting on the bench for 4 years. Like Aaron Rodgers, you know what I mean? It worked out for Aaron Rodgers, but he can be getting those live reps, those live experiences, but coached up by NFL type coaches. You know, I don't know if every 32 teams in the NFL will have a development league type of team, but you know, I don't know, because some say if they did that, then that would water down and dilute a lot of the talent coming out. But I think it'll be benefit not just the quarterbacks. My Cowboys, I think we need a defensive tackle. Tyrone Crawford had, you know, he shows moments. Jack Crawford's playing well. I think we need a better defensive tackle. So I was watching defensive tackles, and I forgot the guy's name, but I think it's number 75 out of Baylor. He could use a development league. You know, I was studying him, technique, things like that. He could use some development, and you know, because you know, if you're coming out of college, if you go undrafted, man, you better get your 4-year degree. You better get a degree, or you're gonna be unemployed. With the development league, I'm not saying these guys got to make millions of dollars like Major League Baseball. They make a few, but I think they get like a per diem. I think they may get housing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Show fans, please let me know minor league baseball if I'm wrong on that. But I just think it could be beneficial, create jobs, coaching, things like that for head coaches. You know, so I don't know. I mean, some coaches, you know, instead of being an assistant coach. Like Wade Phillips, he used to coach my Cowboys, got fired, rightfully so. He should have been fired. Now he's a defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, doing a heck of a job, doing a pretty good job. But you know, sometimes you gotta make a decision. Would I rather be an assistant in the NFL or maybe be a head coach at the development league? You know, I don't know, man. I don't have all the answers. I know if it doesn't make money for the NFL, they're just not gonna do it. I mean, there are some few cities that are out there that would appreciate, the fans would appreciate a development league. Like San Antonio, they got the Spurs in the NBA. I mean, their fans will go out and they will watch development league football, things like that. OKC and the Thunder, you know, the NBA. If you put a development league in that city, a team in that city, things like that. Man, I don't have all the answers, but when I was watching these mainly the quarterbacks, I was like, man, these guys need work, man. These guys, the footwork, the mechanics, things like that. So I don't want to pick on Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma, but when you look at his feet, his footwork, his throwing motion, and things like that, man, he's got a long ways to go. He has a long, but if he decides to declare for the NFL, I can't blame him, because a lot of these quarterbacks is deeper I think, than last year's class. But as far as talent, it's equal. Most of these guys are all about the same. They're really about. I'm not sold on any of them. You know, especially in that spread offense. I'm not sold on any of them, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. Say it's something that I've been hearing about, some type of development league. Some people say college football is a development league, and it should just leave it at that. I don't know. Maybe they can play it during the summer. I don't know. I'm not saying I got all the answers. Let me know what you guys think, man. Does the NFL need a development league? Most sports say boxing got amateur boxing, the Olympics, Gold Gloves, minor league baseball. And matter of fact, in the NBA, I'm an Orlando Magic fan. We sent down Devin Marble. He's our second year player. We sent him down to the D League for like a week and a half, and we brought him back up. So I don't know. Other sports can do it. Baseball's been around for over 100 years, man. So it's been around for so long. But if NFL if they decide to do that, so these guys, fans, I think fans that over time they'll learn to. We'll learn to appreciate it, so these guys don't have to come in, because it's all about confidence. You come in week 1 and you struggle the first 2 weeks or your first year as a quarterback, and your rookie year you throw 15 touchdowns, 15 picks, and the fans are saying we need a new quarterback and things like that. You just don't have that experience. Maybe a D league some type of development league could help. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. Agree, disagree? Because like I say, me personally, I watch these quarterbacks. All these guys, man, they need. If Connor Cook, he has experience on the center, 5-step, 7-step drops, pro style type of system, things like that, downhill running, things like that. But as far as arm strength and accuracy, it's okay. His decision making is pretty good. He doesn't jump off the board and jump off the screen like wow, you know what I'm saying? But they all could use some work, man. In my opinion. Some of you may say, oh, this guy's ready, day one, put him in. Some could use some work. I think a development league could be beneficial, man. I really do, man. Say create jobs and things like that for coaches. Let me know what you guys think, all my football fans. Do you guys like the idea? It could be coming, I'm hearing. I heard as early as 2016. I think that's a little bit too early. I think it'll take a few years, maybe 2017, 18 at the earliest, in my opinion. But and it's not just for quarterbacks, So these guys coming out of college, if they don't get drafted, they can still live their dream, play in the development league of football, make a few bucks. Who knows? Get called up that one day and look at Kurt Warner's story, bagging groceries, things like that. So they don't have to sit on the bench and develop. They can be getting reps and getting that experience by playing live football, And let me know what you guys think, man. This your boy, The Real McCoy, man. And let me know what you guys think, man. I'm out. Peace.